200 times a day is the average of the amount of times that people pick up their phone to look at it.
I read that, yeah.
It's absolutely insane. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As you know, every day this week I've been posting a video on my YouTube channel to celebrate the release of Tom's Daily Goals. Yesterday we talked about stress and resilience, and we did touch a little bit on social media and the whole thing about a digital detox. So today I'm going to be going into a little bit more depth about this one, because I can be guilty of using my phone too much. You may be watching this on a phone right now, but understanding the benefits and also the things that aren't so good about using social media and your phone and your emails and all that kind of stuff. So I am joined with Nadia Narain and Katia Narain Phillips, authors of Self-Care for the Real World, to talk about it, because, you know, lots of people will be wanting to know, how do you use social media? Like, what do you find the purpose for social media?
Well, my main social media use is Instagram, because I love images and I love writing. So that, I've never used Facebook. Now it links together, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I still don't know how to use Facebook, but I love Instagram, and it was a way when I started to stay in touch with friends, and then it started to grow as the business grew, and then the book came out, and have to be really, really disciplined with it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's harder than other times. Like we were just talking about when the book came out, you're constantly getting messages from people and checking, and people are posting. So it's exciting and you want to look, but then you have to know when to draw the line.
A little bit like discipline around it, right?
There's so much about discipline.
Because I have used all kinds of social media for as long as I can remember, like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I mean, I remember MySpace and Bebo, if you remember way back when. But now I mainly use Instagram and YouTube, just because, like you said, of the creativity of being able to post your own photos, share those memories. But I do find that sometimes I'm laying in bed and I found myself going into this Instagram story black hole where you're just watching story after story after story, and then before you know it, you've spent 30 minutes in bed looking at an Instagram story. And I know people at home do exactly the same thing. So Lance and I have tried to make a rule that once we don't have phones in the bedroom whatsoever, because you want it to be like a place to be able to sleep. But what do you do to be able to have some kind of routine and structure to be able to, for screen time, really?
Yeah, so we talk about that in the book, where we both don't have phones in the room as well, and we switch off at a certain time. And even in the mornings, we don't wake up and just grab the phone. So try and give ourselves like half an hour in the morning to not use the phone. And I think the most important thing is when you just put small steps into it, like, you know, say 8:30 phones off, or 8:45, and it becomes easier for people to do those things rather than giving them too much to do.
Yeah.
So like really small steps, and then it's easier to do, and then people will start to see that they feel better not having that blue light, you know, in their
absolutely,
face, and they sleep better. And
because it wakes you up, doesn't it? So it doesn't allow you to get the proper rest that you need to recover for, well, especially if you're an athlete, you need to be able to recover using your sleep. But then just people going to work each day or to school or whatever it is, you need to be fresh as you can. And, you know, what do you often see, or what have you often heard about when people are using it too much? What are the first signs that you see of people using it too much?
Well, I mean, definitely with women, you start comparing constantly. So you're looking at everybody's life, and it's all like that perfect edit of being on holiday and on a boat and, you know, doing all that stuff, but not really seeing what goes on in the rest of someone's life. So if you're sitting there, the only time that you really go into that black hole is when you're on your own and you're not doing something. Because when you're doing something, you're doing it. And so those are the moments where you start comparing and looking at other people, and that's never a healthy thing. And I think what's really weird is when you go into looking at people's pictures and their lives, you've never even met them. You have no idea about their life. You don't even know them. They just happen to follow someone else, you know, and then you go into that black hole, and that's very unhealthy.
And you compare yourselves to them, but then people often forget that people only ever post their absolute best side of themselves. You don't see the struggles that they go through. If they've had a bad day, they only post the best bits of their day. And I think that's something where you have to have a real intent behind your social media, because you have to almost post mindfully and, you know, go on Instagram and be mindful of what you're looking at and making sure that you're watching and looking at posts that are inspiring to you, that can motivate you, and surround yourself with people that you aspire to be like, but not people that make you feel bad about what you're doing, right?
And only you really know what that is.
Exactly.
So it might be, for me, I just limit the people that I follow to my very close circle of people, and that way I don't feel like I have this influx of people's lives just streaming in, you know, and so just little disciplines that you can create around it.
And I think also, I was reading that, you know, 200 times a day is the average of the amount of times that people pick up their phone to look at it.
I read that, yeah.
It's absolutely insane. Like, when I heard about that fact, it's just, what? But then I feel like, actually, probably in an hour I'd pick up my phone a good 25, 30 times without even realising it. Or if it's quiet at a dinner and you don't really know what to say to someone, the first thing you do is look at your phone to try and break an awkward silence rather than communicating with people. And I find that's really weird, especially with younger generation. Don't really know what else to do other than look at a screen.
So we were just away and we really tried to put our phones away, and so that and actually there was only one tiny little spot that we had Wi-Fi.
Oh, really?
So we could literally only go for a little bit in the morning and a little bit in the evening to check the phones, and then you realise, it feels really good not looking at your phone.
But also you could do like, you know, I was saying to you in Paris, if I stopped wearing a watch, and just by putting a watch back on, you're probably going to stop looking at your phone as much.
Oh yeah,
for the time, and even you have a diary, whereas I've always got stuff in my phone, and I was thinking I might just go back to a diary as well, and just try and limit how much you're relying on the phone, and having an alarm clock, alarm clock,
Because if you've got an alarm clock, you don't need your phone in the room, especially for bedtime and that kind of stuff. And like you said, I don't wear a watch because I know that I've got it in my phone. I don't carry a diary around because I know I've got it in my phone. So,
it's almost tempting to go back to the brick phone.
No, exactly. just the basics.
Basic.
Last time I tried to do a complete digital detox, and it was one of the hardest things to completely. We said, okay, right, this weekend, no phones. But to do that, it feels like you're chopping off your arm.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then I was thinking back to 30 years ago, like, how did people decide where they were going to meet? What happens if you're running late? What happens, you know? And you just think about how we rely so much on what goes on in there without actually properly communicating with the people around us.
There's a great Matt Haig's new book too. He talks about how technology is just moving so fast, but we haven't changed that much. So it's this constant moving with the phone, and actually being able to choose the parts that work for us and that help serve us in some way, and then not going with the bits that don't feel so good. But I think it's all about awareness and checking in, because once you're in that black hole, it's hard to even know that you have to come out because everyone's doing it. But if you're on crack and totally out of your mind, the whole family would be like, we need to intervene here.
Exactly.
You know, there's a problem.
There's a certain level of like, addiction with everything, and technology being one of them. I've even noticed with, you know, when people wear fitness trackers, they rely on, I need to get to my 10,000 steps because I'm like looking at sleep and all that kind of stuff, relying on the technology to tell you what exactly you're doing and what you should be doing, rather than learning to listen to your body and feeling, being in the moment and being present. I find that lots of people, and I only find it in my friends and some of my peers and all that kind of stuff, that people post things online to get that self-validation, people telling them how great they are and how amazing this thing is, when I feel like that's kind of quite a toxic way to think about social media.
Yeah, I definitely think that you need to post something that you want to post, and it's for you and not for what people think of you. And when you post it and you let it go, and you don't just keep going to your phone to check how many likes you have. and you can turn off your notifications so the comments don't keep coming up and beeping at you. So you can just, post and let it go. And that's really a good way of doing it. And also, like Nadia's really good with her posts, so she posts to inspire, and I think that's why you get quite good feedback with your posts.
I get lots of likes.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing though, you can share something to let your friends and family see what you're doing. That's what I feel like the social media should be used for, is for the social element of, here's what I'm up to today, this was really cool.
Or you feel like you're giving I always try and think, what can I give the audience?
Exactly.
And not, and
what
can they give me? And then try and give things that you give a little bit of yourself, but no one knows where I am. I never have the place that I am, or, so that there is some part of you that you keep private, because that's such a, it's sacred now, because we use it and it helps us in some way. But at the same time, whenever I meet, so I got an email from a friend the other day, and she's like, someone sent me a picture. I'm not on social media, so I don't know. And I was like, you're so cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's such a rare breed now.
My mum doesn't use it. And I think that's something that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And lots of people nowadays think, well, if it wasn't on social media, it didn't happen, And I think that's a really strange and weird way to think about life now, is that you have to prove that it happened on social media.
Yeah, and you're not engaged in the moment, because you're just worried about what you're going to post, who's going to look at it, and you've just forgotten that you're having an experience.
Yeah, you should take photos for you, for memories, but don't forget to be in that moment.
Because some of these people, when you see them do these Instagram posts, they're photographing it 100 times before that moment, and everyone else doesn't realise, so they're looking and go, how is that so perfect?
Yeah, exactly. And they've taken a million photos in the first place.
The thing that I just found out about, which has disturbed me a little bit, especially for women, is this that people change their body with a whole airbrushing situation thing. And that has made me really upset, actually, because I had no idea. I'm like looking at everybody on Instagram thinking, I need to work out.
And people compare themselves to it though, and then they're like, oh my goodness, I'm not.
And just changing their face shapes and their body shapes, and I just think that's such a unhealthy thing for young women and young girls to be looking at, because we are aging, and that is, we just look how we look, and that's how it is. But if you have an app that you can just quickly erase things, it's just all too easy. And I think that's a really, really difficult problem for young people.
Absolutely, because it's not them. They're creating an Instagram social media persona.
It's like an alien.
Yeah, exactly. People aren't staying true to who they actually are. Interesting though.
So there's good and bad bits, and we just got to figure out which bits work for us and which bits don't. Yeah.
Exactly. I guess long and short of it is, don't spend too much time on your phone, and come up with, guidelines and rules and restrictions and a routine of when you can use your phone or not.
Yeah.
You'll feel happier, better for your mental health and everything in total, right?
Definitely will.
Good. Well, thank you very much for chatting with me.
Thanks for
there's so much more that we could talk about, I know, but we're trying to keep it brief, the YouTube audience. So yeah, make sure you check out their book, Self-Care for the Real World, and also my book, Tom's Daily Goals, which all the information for that will be in the description box below. But yeah, this week has been an extensive week of videos, so make sure you subscribe, because there's going to be one more video coming tomorrow, so make sure you tune in for that one. Thank you.
Thank you.